Hello, everyone, and thanks for everybody for joining the channel. I noticed that you guys really blew up my uh, YouTube account and got tons of subscribers through it, and so that's really awesome. So everybody who came over from VinWiki to see my page is pretty awesome. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos that I have posted in the past. And I wanted to get to some questions that you guys have asked about the SLC, and I went to the factory to ask some of the questions because I don't really know all of them. And some of you wanted to hear the DMV story, so I'm going to start out with the DMV story. And here's my list of questions on the left, and what I'm doing is going to go to the DMV. So this is me trying to be all gangster, and after I got my DMV pass through the Minnesota DMV place. And how it works is, at least in Minnesota, they want a manufacturer certificate of origin, an MCO. They also want a receipt for the engine, a receipt for the transmission, and they also need the VIN, or MCO in this case, number stamped somewhere on the car. And when I went there, I didn't realize that I had to have it stamped on the car physically, or a little plate permanently affixed. That's the rule that they want. And I didn't realize that at the time. And they said, well, where's your VIN number somewhere on the car? And I was like, oh, I don't have one. So I literally left, went home, came back 20 minutes later to the exact same guy, had gone home, I used a punch set, and literally just punched the VIN into a random spot on the on the frame in the back, the aluminum frame in the back, and went, oh, gee, how did I miss that? It's right there. It's been there the whole time. And the guy gave me a look like, okay, I know what you're doing. But, you know, you don't build one of these cars and steal a bunch of stuff. It just doesn't, it doesn't work that way. The second issue I had was when they asked me to prove that I had purchased the engine. So here's the picture of me passing. Let's see if I can find the photo. Oh, no. See if I can find the photo of when, come on, open up with, there we go, photos. Let's see, nope, that's a different one. Oh, I'm just being silly there. See if I find take it to the DMV. There it is, there's the DMV, and that's what it looks like. And they had asked me, so okay, we'll prove that you have a receipt for the engine. Well, the thing is I have the opportunity to work with a lot of places, and I had a deal with General Motors, and General Motors had sent me an engine, which was really cool of them to do, because this was going to be a kind of a big publicity thing, as you can kind of already tell. And I was going to go out and race it and do a bunch of other really cool stuff with it. So they sent me an engine, and it didn't come with a receipt. And I'm sitting there at the DMV, and I said, well, can I call my guy over at GM? Will that suffice? And they said, nope. So I had to call my contact at GM, and he had to handwrite me a note that he said, yes, we provided this engine with this particular number stamped on the engine, and it is not stolen, essentially, in so many words. And that was it. That's all they really need. Now, there's more to it than that, and I was really nervous when I put out the DMV. I took it out to the DMV because, I'd heard these horror stories about California and all these different places. They need, like, wipers and functional this and functional that, and you got to have all these different things. So I was really nervous. And I'm standing there looking at the guy, and he's, like, ready to hand over the paperwork, like, you're good to go. Here's, your title will be coming soon. And I look at him and I say, what happened? Like, you don't want to look at the headlights? Nope, we don't want to look at the headlights. How about brake lights? You want to make sure it has brake lights? Nope. Windshield? Nope. Seatbelts? Nope. Windshield wiper? Nope. None of those things, because, as he told me, they're considered, quote, safety items. And if they check over those items and they deem the car to be safe, therefore they're liable in case I kill myself in some sort of horrific accident. So it was seriously the easiest process and least stressful possible way to do it. So if you have the opportunity, what I suggest, come to Minnesota, title it Minnesota, and then it's titled in every 50 state after that. Nobody will question you because you have a legit title. Okay, so that's the DMV story. They were, I really thought they'd be more stringent than that. Nope, but yeah, I'm sitting there on the phone with the guy from GM going, can you talk to the DMV? DMV is going, nope, we don't care. Yeah, just the way it goes sometimes. So other questions. Can it be converted to four-wheel drive? I assume not, because there's a lot of mid-engine four-wheel drive cars, but I suspect you could mount some electric motors. I went to Fran, the owner of this company, the Superlight company, and his answers are here in bold. The chassis was not designed for a front differential. He's looked into it, but it's not worth the trouble for the cost and complication. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could figure it out, but yeah, probably not worth the effort. The body style has been around for a few years. Any words on getting it updated? Blank. I got no answer, so I can't help you on that one. Will the car allow you to automate the transmission? And how about, or otherwise have it possess an automatic transmission? Well, currently there's no transaxle available on the market that's automatic. I want to use pedal shifters. Sequential transaxles available with pedals prices start at $20,000. So the answer is yes, but how deep are your pockets? And they're noisy because, of course, they're, for race cars, that clunk, clunk noise, whee, that whining noise. If I were to use the turnkey minus program and to have them build it for me up until the engine and transaxle, what would it be? And he says, well, again, my answer is how long's a piece of string, because you can go from bare bones to hog wild and everything in between. So, starts at $68K minus paint and options and drivetrain. There you go. Sky's the limit after that. What about people that want to run a supercharger? Is there sufficient engine to firewall clearance for a forward-facing intake? Only the GM Crate engine packages LS9 and LT4 are available that fit. So there's your answer. Are all of your ex-wives named Tammy? I would see how that is, and it's a pretty safe assumption. However, no, not all my ex-wives are named Tammy. Thank you. I do a pretty good Ron Swanson impression, though. So, there are only two things I hate: liars, skim milk, which is water lying about being milk. Anyway, there you go. $50,000 for an LS motor and 500 hours? No thanks. Rather than having a modern Z06 or hell, even an Ariel Atom. I'm probably missing something here, but I can't understand the cost. For 10 or 20K more, you can have an actual supercar in the R8. Yeah, you can. But for some people, it's about the journey. Some people want to build it. Some people enjoy putting their hands on the car and touching every single bolt that goes with it. And that's where I was at my life. I wanted to build my own car exactly the way I wanted. So, yeah, could you go out and buy something else? Yeah, you can buy a Miata. My decent Miata is $5,000. Go buy a fleet of them for $50,000. Some people want something different. If that's not your thing, then fine. I'm not going to argue with you. Why did you sell it? It was everything, literally everything, cranked up to 11. The amount of attention you got, the car was crazy. I was reading some of the comments on VinWiki. I know, don't read the comments, but I did. And people were saying, "Oh yeah, he said he wants something to kill him, and then he goes out and buys something that wants to kill him." Well, what did you expect? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I wanted something that was a little nuts and a little crazy. And I went all the way past 10, all the way to 11. And I'll be honest, the car was way more car than I can handle. I consider myself a quick driver. I'm not a fast driver. Just recently, me and two other guys won a go-kart enduro with a bunch of league racers. So that was pretty cool. So I'm okay as a driver. Am I as fast as this car? No, I'm not. This car is extremely fast. And it's everything turned up to 11, and it scared me. The car kind of scared me. So to be honest, there was a fair amount of that. Do you have to mount the intake backwards? Yes, you do. The intake on an LS motor is easily swappable front to back, so no big deal. All the accessories are facing towards the back, or the back cab. And if you want to change anything, like the belts, it's easier to do it from under the car, believe it or not. So just lift the car up, and then you can change easy access to underneath. How many parts beside the drivetrain component did you have to fabricate or source that are not included in the kit? I'm halfway through a Factory 5 kit, and I'm thinking about building SLC next. Okay, so let's see if I have a good photo of it. Let's go through. So here was at a place called Auto Edge that does race car prep. So here's an example of one of the parts I had to make. I had to make a wing support, because the wing was kind of doing this, because it's not supported very well. And all you need to do is make this one little bracket, no big deal. I don't know, maybe it took me an hour or so to weld this up and get it bolted to the car. But how many do you have to make? Yeah, I'd say about 40 or 50 different ones. And what happens is when you put the engine in the car, it looks, let me find the original photo. So from here, it looks like I know what I'm doing, right? It's like, oh, everything looks like it has its place, and everything is exactly where it needs to be. Well, let me tell you, that doesn't really happen until you get all the pieces and you start putting pieces together. You're going to start with the engine and the transmission and put the axles in, and then you're going to go, well, where does everything else go? Well, there's a lot of different things. And one of the questions I got was, why do you need 2 gas tanks? One's a surge tank, and one of them is a regular gas tank. The regular gas tank that comes with it's about 15, 17 gallons and does not have any baffles in it. So when you go around the corner real tight, all the gas goes one way. That's not going towards the sump. So what you have to do is you have to have a surge tank, which is pretty normal in a lot of cars, especially race cars, who see a lot of G-forces, to have one tank that's always full with 1 gallon no matter what, and will take a fair amount of G-forces, all the fuel being sloshed one way. And so you have to make room for all that stuff. So even though it looks fairly logical here, and you look at it and go, oh yeah, that makes total sense, it didn't make sense at the time because you didn't really know where everything went. And when you would mount something, you'd go, oh, I need to put it over here, or slightly this way, or slightly that way. So there's a lot of planning involved in making sure that everything fit properly. Okay? Ha ha ha, or LOL, are those Miata door handles? Yes, they are. they're Miata door handles. And they do, they actually fit quite well. They look like they fit the car, and they're just like little, click, click things. And it worked just fine. Eric must have never heard of Zakari 3030. He's a legend. Yes, I have. I have talked to him. His name's Alan. I have his cell phone number. He's actually a really nice guy. If you get a chance to talk to him, ask him all sorts of questions about the SLCs. He's built dozens of them, and I know he'll build them. Somebody had asked me how much he charges. Last I checked, car plus all the components plus at least 20 grand. So, there's your answer. I mean, the guy's good. The guy's really, really good, and he's done this a lot, and he makes some really excellent stuff. But, it comes with a price, too. So, this is us dynoing the motor, if you want to see some photos. Us dynoing the motor. I called my GM guy after I dynoed this, and it was a 376 525 horse LSX crate motor, and it made 524.5 horsepower. So, as advertised, exactly how it works. Again, this is the back. This is the with the rear clamshell missing. This is when it was finished. I needed to make a prop. I didn't really have a really good prop, so if you see, I'm using a 2x4 just to kind of hold it open at the time. If a keen eye will notice that I had a rear window. I changed it out halfway through because I didn't want to cut the Laxan, so I actually had 2 rear windows. The one that was in there now, in this photo, is actually carbon fiber with some holes drilled in it to kind of make it look like one of those GT3 Huracan WC cars. So, yeah, the car had a lot of aero grip. A lot of aero grip. I mean, more than is comfortable for somebody who goes from somebody with no aero grip. Is kind of scary. So this is your view. You're always looking up at people, no matter what. The floor, I mean, literally your butt's on the floor, and there's 4 inches from ground to your, to your seat. It's really, really tiny. So I had made, not necessarily a bare bones car, but I had made one that was functional. And that was just going to be a lot of fun. And I had a stack cluster in there with a shift light, as you can see by my left hand there. Had AC, had heat. So, it was pretty cool. I will warn you, though, if you do buy one of these, heat's not required. AC is required. Even if you take the windows out, it is so aerodynamic that you can't get any wind to come in the car, even with the windows out. So AC is a requirement through that. Somebody said, well, why don't you just make some cards for everybody to ask what it is? I made a sheet at one point, and here it is. There's a photo of me with the sheet, and had all the details on it, and that did not stop any of the questions at all. It literally answered the same basic 10 questions for 4 or 5 hours. Here's that bracket again. Here's us at AutoEdge. I got on local news a couple times. That was a lot of fun with the car. Here it is getting corner balanced and race prepped by the guys at AutoEdge. They do a lot of Porsche stuff, so a lot of GT cars, GT2, GT3 cars there. So I knew I was in good hands there. They do good work. Not cheap, but you get what you pay for. Here we are, Street Machine Nationals. Me looking smarmy. Here it is at home. Yes, I did build it in my garage. I really did. There's me getting my pass again at AutoEdge with one of their Caymans. That's a GTB1, one of their race cars that they service. Pretty cool. Again, at the DMV. I traded it for this Porsche 911 wide body slant nose for that one, which I sold. And I sold it for this Dodge Viper, which I wrapped. It was red prior, and I wrapped it in this black because I knew I was going to beat it up a little bit, and I didn't want the paint getting ruined, even though it was already ruined when I got it. And put this livery, whatever, on it. So anyway, hope that's helpful. Thanks a lot for everybody joining me and everybody who subscribed and kind of blowing my channel up for a little bit. Hopefully this answered your questions. If you have other ones, I'll just individually respond to them. But hopefully this was helpful, and have a good one.